Hi, my name is Niko Peric, and this is my group's Phase 3 um, project submission and demo, and as well as presentation. So the purpose of our project is to create a fully functioning student database with the underlying intent of monitoring COVID-19 status among incoming students. And we find that this is more important to do as universities are slowly opening back up again for limited classes, for specific in-person classes, and it would be, especially in uncertain times, it would be much better to for school administrators to accurately track students' COVID-19 status, whether they tested positive recently or not, whether they previously been positive for COVID, whether they quarantined in the past or very recently, and so on. And the purpose of this database would be to require a student to update their COVID-19 status on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. So this was originally created with the intent of handling COVID-19 status information for FAU computer science students, but our group decided, my group partner John, Davidian, and I decided to expand this to include the entire College of Engineering. So we'll see multiple students in our database table with varying degrees, such as mechanical engineering, ocean engineering, and so on. Our database will also track key attributes of student, such as their student name, Z number, degree program, GPA, prerequisite courses, enrollment year, and so on. And also specific key attributes of their COVID-19 status as well. In summary, though, our project is to provide a robust tool that will allow university administrators to monitor student progression through their engineering degree of choice, and to also track their COVID-19 status. We'd also like to We'd also originally intended with creating a web-based UI rendered HTML, but we decided to host our MySQL server on a Mac OS X instance within VMware, and as well as run our queries from there. Okay. And now for ER diagram. So here are 3 tables for our database. And here's our 3 tables. So we have a COVID-19 table, a student table, and a degree table, and these are the columns that will contain rows of data. And here you can see that all these 3 tables, they share a primary key, Z number, to uniquely identify student, but you also see a last name, first name for student as well to help differentiate them. We also have our COVID-19 status test, which is has a student tested positive recently, and if not, have they tested positive in the past. Tested status, have they recently taken a test? If not, have they taken a test in the past? Quarantine status, have the student went into self-isolation, and if they didn't, did they go in self-isolation in the past? And then we have pre-attestation. So basically, did they previously test? They previously enter, yes, I tested positive for COVID-19, and in the last time they were required to enter their data into their COVID-19, the last time they were required to attest to our COVID-19 database. Okay, and so this is our ER diagram for our database. Now we're going to go to our database itself. And just to showcase this, here is our database tables. So we have our COVID-19 table, our student table, and our degree table. They all have 10 rows of sample data inputted, just to run our queries and to show how we can extract information from the database table. So for example, and also right here is our queries to run for our database table. So, and we also included the purpose of what query we're supposed to be doing. So for example, find the first and last name of students majoring in computer science. And since I already entered the query in advance, so select first name, last name from degree, where the field of study is going to be computer science. We run that, and we can see that this is in line what we should have, which we can find from our degree table. Our second query we would run is find the names first and last of students who had yes for their COVID-19 status. So we run this again. So we see select distinct last name, first name from student as COVID-19C with a COVID-19 status yes, and the Z number is equal to the Z number is equal to the Z number in the student table. So this is our COVID-19 table. It's a primary key Z number, and the Z number is also stored in the student table. So this is how we make sure that we have the right student as well. And we're matching the right, and we're querying for the right data. So you run that, and we see that there's 2 students who had yes for the COVID-19 status. So Andrew Gonzalez and Ryan Anderson. Alright, and on our third query, okay, so this one is to find the names of students who are college seniors, 90 more credits, and are graduating in 2021. You run this. We have 4 rows in the set, so we came back with 4 students that had this, who were graduating in 2021, which you can see there. Alright, and now fourth query, to find a student the highest grade point average. So you run that. So select last name, first name, GPA from student S, where the GPA, and we use the max function to find the highest GPA from the student table. You run that, and we see that Julia Smith had a GPA 3.78, the highest GPA. Okay. And final last query. So, okay, find the names of students who are currently in quarantine with the status for COVID-19. Find the name of students that are currently in quarantine, basically. So this is our query to run it. So we have select distinct last name, first name from student S, COVID-19 C, where the quarantine status equals yes, and the C and the Z number matching the COVID-19 table is matching the Z number in the student table. We run that, and we see all these students who are in quarantine, or they were previously in quarantine. That's important to note as well. Alright, and to showcase and to explain a little bit more our database table, so this is our original code, by the way, for our P2 implementation. So we have our we create our tables here, as you can see, and we also inserted our values, our 10 values in each table, and you can see how here, so we had our bar chart with certain columns, and we also have ints. Okay, and we can see that we declared our Z number for each W table as our primary key. And we also specify with these varchars the maximum amount of characters certain column can take. Okay, and this concludes our Phase 3 demo and presentation. Thank you for watching. This is by Niko Peric and Davidian.